All right, I'm admitting it right here, right now. For the last few years, I have been an absolute self-help, productivity, time management junkie. And if you are tuned into this video, I'm afraid to say there's a good chance that you might be as well. And it's not all bad news. Don't worry, there's plenty of good points that go along with that as well. But there's one bad one that has taken me years to realize, and I'm so glad I finally have. And I really hope this one helps you. I'm sure we've all clicked onto YouTube and realized that our entire Explore feed is just packed with people giving advice on time management, productivity, things you should be doing, saunas and ice baths and all that kind of stuff. And it sounds amazing, right? I spent years watching this stuff, and don't get me wrong, I've learned a lot. I learned so much from YouTube, and I'm so grateful for the amazing creators and the education that we have available to us online. But this one thing I really wish I learned earlier, and it is that you should not take advice from people who are not in a position you want to be in. Now, if you have kids, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, because there is two parts to life. There is the bit before kids and the bit after. And whatever you think you've got dialed in your time management and your productivity, life changes when you've got other people completely dependent on you and to provide for. I think this affects just about every area of life, right? And the first one I realized it in, I don't know why, thinking about it, I didn't pull the piece of information across all the facets of my life, because I learned years ago, don't listen to people, don't take financial advice off people who are not in a position financially that you want to be in. I'm not going to take investing advice off somebody who's not as successful as an investor as I am. I'm not going to take business advice off somebody who's failed businesses when I have a certain level of success. You know, you're going to get advice from people who you look up to, people who can mentor you, people who are a few rungs higher up the ladder, so you can try and move yourself to that higher position. I don't know why I never sort of took that and moved it across to other areas, but actually I sort of realized when I was first starting my fitness, my sort of health and fitness journey, I was taking all this advice off these like 20-something-year-old guys who have got no kids and are running like an online coaching business. And I was like, this makes no sense whatsoever. They've got literally no idea how little time you have when you have kids and a business and life, and how can you even make all this stuff fit in? Then you've got all the productivity and the morning routines and the hacks that everybody's talking about. And it's like, do a 30-minute sauna, do 20 minutes in the hot tub, 10 minutes in the steam, and then you've got to go and get your 10,000 steps. And don't forget, then you've got to do an ice bath after that. You need to meditate, you need to journal, you need to make sure you've got your goals written out before you go to bed. Obviously, put your screens away before you go to bed. You have to get your 8 hours sleep. It cannot be broken. That's freaking impossible with kids. And none of this means anything to the right person. Now, by the way, I'm not slating people who don't have kids. I'm just saying you need to make sure you're taking advice off the right people. So if you're watching this and you are not resonating with any of it, you don't have kids, you're not trying to run a business, this is probably the worst video in the world, right? If you've never been here before, by the way, I'm Sam. I'm 34 years old. I got 2 kids. I got another one on the way. I run multiple businesses, one of which is pretty damn big by now. And I am finally getting in the best shape of my life. In the last 3 years, I've gone from like 210 pounds down to like 160 pounds. And it was sort of the last box to check. You know, I had sorted myself out financially. I had a beautiful family, and I was just this fat dickhead, and I was like, I need to sort myself out. How can I have all of this wealth in life, all of these beautiful things? And when I say wealth, I don't just mean money. I mean, I feel like the wealthiest guy because I have just such a like lovely bunch of friends and family, and a beautiful house and some money as well. And I was just like, and I'm still out of shape. I was like, this is lame, man. We got to sort this out. So that was it. And taking advice from people who are not really busy and who maybe are a little bit younger and have been doing this for a while makes it really difficult. And you can go down that rabbit hole a little bit like you can with anything on social media, where you're sort of looking at people's best bits, people's best moments. You don't sort of see the other stuff that goes with it. And when you actually boil it down to the basics, you can get in great shape no matter your situation, like no matter what's happening in your life, you can absolutely do it. You just have to get the advice from the right people. So this video is your calling to start culling your YouTube Explore feed. If you are trying to get in shape, but you have videos coming up of some 20-something guy in Dubai with no family and no responsibility, it's probably not the right person to take advice for on the fitness front. Now, don't get me wrong, he will know probably a million times more than you and me and loads of us, and is probably extremely knowledgeable. But there's something about being in the situation or having gone through a certain situation that makes the advice so much more relatable. This goes for finances as well. If you're into your finances right now and you're trying to like lock in your savings, get your investing going, there's no point taking advice of somebody who, you know, has blown up a channel or something from when they were really young and is making hundreds of thousands of pounds and just doesn't understand the life of earning 50k a year while having a wife and 2 kids and paying a mortgage and all the rising costs here in the UK. You know, you want to be getting your tips, your advice, setting your goals based on similar situations, similar people, or people who understand, because otherwise you can end up in that horrible online social media trap where you are just constantly comparing yourself to everybody else. And that is the quickest way to feel terrible about what is probably an absolutely amazing life that you have, and you're probably an amazing person and doing really great things. As soon as you start comparing, you're just going to feel terrible for absolutely no reason, because the grass always seems greener and you are only looking at people's highlights. So that is it. This is just a crazy short video today and probably a really random little rant, but it really helped me. I absolutely love YouTube. I love creators. I love people that put stuff out there and try to help others. But even like listening to me, if I'm babbling about anything, you need to make sure that it's the right thing for you. And it's somebody who's been where you are and is going where you want to go. So listen to the right people, take advice off people who are in a position that you want to be in.